crazy what people do out here to make money. For some people, their crazy ideas made them rich. Here's a list of 10 simple inventions that made people millionaires as compiled by Riveted. Number 10, the Slinky. Richard James invented the Slinky. He was a naval engineer who was known by locals as being clumsy. After he dropped the tension spring and observed how it moved on the floor, he had the idea for the Slinky. He released the toy in 1945, and his first batch of 400 Slinkies was sold in just 90 minutes. James and his wife Betty formed James Industries in Clifton Heights, Pennsylvania, to manufacture Slinky and several related toys such as the Slinky Dog and Susie the Slinky Worm. In 1960, James's wife Betty became president of James Industries and in 1964 moved the operation back to Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania. The Slinky has been used other than as a toy in the playroom. It has appeared in the classroom as a teaching tool, in wartime as a radio antenna, and in physics experiments with NASA. Plastic Slinkies are also available. They can be made in different colors. Many of them are made with the colors of the rainbow in the rainbow order. The plastic versions were marketed in the 1970s as a safer alternative to metal Slinkies, as they did not present a hazard when inserted into electrical sockets. Slinky was inducted into the National Toy Hall of Fame at the Strong in Rochester, New York in 2000, and in 2003, the Slinky was named on the Toy Industry Association's Century of Toys list. Number 9, Snuggies. Innovator Scott Boylan's took the blanket with sleeves concept and invented the all-conquering Snuggie. The product became famous after a direct response commercial promoting the product was aired. It was featured on TV programs like Today, where cast and crew donned Snuggie blankets for a segment which was described as looking like a black Protestant choir. Others have described mass Snuggie wearing as looking like a Harry Potter convention. The Associated Press likened it to a monk's ensemble in fleece and proclaimed it the ultimate kitsch gift. The Snuggie initially sold singly for $14.95 and later in sets of 2 for $19.95. Boylan's company All-Star Marketing Group brought the Snuggie to market in 2008 and launched a cheesy commercial that generated more buzz than a swarm of bees, triggering a massive craze. A whopping 20 million Snuggies were sold in the first year, with sales exceeding 40 million in the first 3 months alone. The cult of the Snuggie was featured on The Tonight Show, appeared in countless YouTube videos, and inspired everything from Snuggie pub crawls to wear your Snuggie movie nights. To date, the product has generated $500 million, according to CNBC, and Boylan is now estimated to be worth at least $200 million. Number 8, Beanie Babies. Ty Warner is the person behind Beanie Babies, which made him between $3 to $6 billion. The concept was to fill a sack with some beans, give it ears, and give it a creative name, and the result was an empire larger than Mattel and Hasbro combined. Sales were slow at first, to the point that by 1995, many retailers refused to buy the products in the bundles Ty offered them, while others outright refused to buy them in any form. While most scoffed at the understuffed animals of Ty and referred to them as roadkill, the haters were shut down after 30,000 were sold at the first toy show. Their popularity soon grew, however, first starting locally in Chicago before growing into a national craze in the USA. Ty Warner established his own empire and became remarkable. He did not advertise his products and never sold them in major chain stores like Toys R Us. This made his toys tougher to obtain and more desirable. Aside from that, Ty would retire models after their initial stock sold out, which turned them into prized possessions. During the height of Beanie Baby, Ty earned $700 million in 1 year. Some might refer to this as a scam, yet the line of collectibles incited the craziest fad frenzy of all time. Number 7, Doggles. DeLallo's invention might initially seem as absurd as many of the others on this list, but it's one that had practical benefits. These goggles for dogs, inspired when she and her husband noticed their pooch seemed to be sensitive to sunlight, quickly took off. Experiments were made with human sunglasses and sports goggles before a pair was developed to fit the shape of a dog's head. DeLallo quit her job as a software engineer and, along with her husband Ken, focused on the company. Doggles are constructed out of tinted polycarbonate material for UV protection, with elastic straps to secure them to the dog's head. Since then, the Doggles have been used for various reasons, including military purposes. In 2004, Linda Cunningham was organizing supply packs to be sent out to U.S. Army dogs working in Iraq. During her research, she came across Doggles and thought of them as protection from the sun and also from the effects of the desert sandstorms. She contacted the Doggles company, and together they sent over 120 pairs of Doggles out to Iraq for the military working dogs. Doggles were ranked number 6 in a list of 10 ideas that shouldn't have worked but made millions, and by 2004, they were being sold in 4,500 shops in 16 countries. In 2012, it reported revenues of $3 million. Number 6, Billy Bob Teeth. Back in 1993, Jonah White was a student at Missouri State University in Springfield. One day during the fall, he went to watch a football game at the university. There he saw a strange hillbilly guy laughing and flirting with the crowd. He had the ugliest teeth ever, and at the same time, he was so confident. He was even asking every girl he could about her phone number. After the match, Jonah White met the guy almost accidentally, and neither of them even imagined that this meeting would later lead to something big. The two became friends, and one day, they decided to monetize the ugly teeth idea. The duo teamed up and created the business Billy Bob Teeth. Without a way to manufacture his idea, Jonah ended up pretending to be a student at the Southern Illinois University School of Dental Medicine so that he could use their lab to build prototypes. Jonah and Rich have been doing this business for more than 20 years. Their crazy business idea made them millionaires, and their products are still selling after so much time. The founders claim that their ugly teeth are sold in more than 150 countries from around the world, and so far they have manufactured and sold more than 20 million of them. The 20 million units sold have resulted in over 40 million in sales. Number 5. Scrub Daddy. Auto polisher and inventor Aaron Krause created his clever multitasking sponge with a smiley face in 2006 while developing a foam buffing pad. The car detail expert came up with an extra special sponge that turns soft in warm water and hard when it's drenched in cold water. Krause almost forgot about his invention until 2011 when he had to clean some garden furniture. He dug out the sponge and was bowled over by its cleaning prowess. Thinking he was onto something big, the polishing pro went on the U.S. Shark Tank TV show in 2012 to pitch the product. Krause bagged a $200,000 investment for 20% equity from Lori Greiner, who helped him garner deals with major retailers like QVC. Scrub Daddy is now America's #1 sponge, with total revenues topping $110 million, and its inventor thought to be worth up to $70 million. As of 2020, Scrub Daddy had the highest revenue of any product successfully pitched on the ABC reality show Shark Tank. The now internationally recognized brand consists of more than 20 diverse products. Included in the collection are scouring pads, dual-sided sponges, sink organizers, soap dispensers, and even a household eraser. Number 4. Slap Bracelets. A slap bracelet is a bracelet consisting of layered, flexible stainless steel bistable spring bands sealed with a fabric, silicone, or plastic cover. Anders was a high school teacher in Wisconsin when he came up with the idea for these popular novelties in 1983. Original slap-wrap slap bracelets had been 23 centimeters in length, 2.5 centimeters wide, and made of steel that was 0.15 millimeter thick, although cheap knockoff versions had used thinner steel, which was more likely to break and or cut the wearer, the dangers of which first came to light in 1990, soon after they were released. Slap bracelets were a popular fad among kids, preteens, and teenagers, and in the late 1980s, and were available in a wide variety of patterns and colors. The bracelet was banned in several schools following reports of injuries from worn-out or modified versions, but that did not slow down their popularity. Anders eventually paired with Eugene Murtha, president of Main Street Toy, to distribute better bracelets, and by 1990, demand was so intense that the company stopped counting how many they sold and measured instead by weight. The New York Times at the time said 1990 revenues were expected to land between 6 and 8 million, compared with 2.5 million in 1989. Number 3. The Pet Rock. Dal, a California advertising executive, was one of the original unlikely millionaires, convincing more than 1.5 million people in the cash-strapped mid-1970s to spend $4 million, over $18 million in today's economy, on a rock. The idea was born as Dahl and friends discussed the inconveniences of living, breathing pets who required food, grooming, and pooper scoopers, litter boxes, etc. Dahl thought that rocks would be perfect pets, and he ran with the idea. A rock would not need to be fed, walked, bathed, groomed, and it would not die, become sick, or be disobedient. Dahl said they were to be the perfect pets and joked about it with his friends. He packaged them in small carrier cases with the guide to training and caring for the rock. The fad lasted about 6 months, ending after a short increase in sales during the Christmas season of December 1975. Although by February 1976, they were discounted due to lower sales. Dahl sold over 1 million pet rocks for $4 each and became a millionaire. With his money, Dahl opened a bar named Carrie Nations in downtown Los Gatos, California, a reference to Carrie Nation. Dahl continued to work in advertising, however, he avoided interviews for years because a bunch of wackos harassed him with lawsuits and threats. Number 2. Finder's Key. At 52, airline stewardess Sandy Stein invented accessorized key clasps to help women avoid losing their keys in their purse. She called the product Finder's Key Purse. The idea for Finder's Key Purse came to owner and inventor Sandy Stein literally in a dream in which her deceased father showed her the design and told her to get out there and sell it. With no formal business or college education, Stein relied on her creativity to bring her product to market. Within 4 months of launching the product, Stein's company reached $1 million in sales, and in 8 months, over 1 million units were sold. In 2018, the company sold 11 million Finder's Key purses and was worth approximately $25 million. Today, over 12 million of her unique key fobs have been sold, and she has added variations to the line, designing custom pieces for companies like Harley-Davidson and TD Bank. Number 1. Heelys. Heelys, formerly known as Healing Sports Limited, is a brand of roller shoe that have usually one or more removable wheels embedded in each sole, similar to inline skates, allowing the wearer to walk, run, or by shifting their weight to their heels, roll. Roger Adams, a licensed psychologist, has said he invented the skate shoe fusion as part of a midlife crisis. As he dealt with a divorce and difficult career, he daydreamed about being able to shift his weight and just roll away. Adams' parents owned a skating rink, and he'd been skating since he was a baby. That's no exaggeration. At 9 months old, Adams landed in the Guinness Book of World Records as the youngest person to roller skate. In Huntington Beach, he sat and watched kids fly by on rollerblades, the latest evolution of the wheels he grew up with. He suddenly had the idea of a shoe that could roll on command by just shifting your body weight. Adams grabbed an old pair of Nikes, cut a hole in the heel using a hot butter knife, and inserted a rod and skateboard wheel bearing. It was a rough prototype, but with the help of some kids in the neighborhood and an angel investment from his cousin, Adams tinkered and tested his way to a prototype he could pitch to existing footwear companies. In December 2000, that dream became a reality, and an instant hit, selling more than 1 million units its first year. So, what other simple inventions changed the life of the inventor? Let us know in the comments section below. This has been Riveted.